Welcome in to part 2 of my 2024 yearly reset. Nope, not the bag in the corner. Let's get that out of here real fast. If you missed part 1, we reflected on my 2023 yearly goals. Now for part 2, we're going to be diving into setting new goals for 2024. I'm going to show you guys my new yearly Notion spread that I created for 2024, which is super freaking cute and I'm so excited to share it. Really excited for this video. If you did not see part 1, strongly recommend going to catch up on that because a lot of what I learned and realized in that part of this video will be factoring into the different approach that I'm taking to my 2024 goals. If you're new around here, we do all of our goal setting in Notion. So my goal setting process this year has looked kind of different. I ended up writing down on paper a brainstorm of goals. Me and my friend got together a few weeks ago, had some hot cocoa and did some brainstorming. So I already have some goals drafted. Specifically with my yearly goals, I really do like to prep my goals in advance of filming this reset, just so that I'm making sure that my goals are as intentional as possible. I already have my goals in mind, but we're going to input them into my new Notion template for 2024. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is my 2024 home base that I created in Notion. I'm obsessed. This has just such a more warm, colorful feeling to it. I'm still working out some of the details, but this is the general format that I've got going on. For comparison, our spread last year looked like this. So a lot more cool toned, very neutral, not a lot of color going on. And this year I really wanted to liven it up. This cover image is not going to stay, even though I do really like it, because I'm going to replace it with my 2024 vision board. I don't have that made yet, which is why we're just using this temporary image, but I do really like it. I think it's beautiful. So I have basically two main sections in this 2024 goals page. The first section is obviously my yearly goals spread. So this is very comparable to what I had last year, and I have it broken down by category. We'll discuss my selections of categories. And then I have this new section that I came up with that I'm so excited to flesh out. It's the year in quarters, so AKA a quarterly breakdown of the year. So I haven't actually built out the quarter pages, but I'm planning to basically group my monthly goals spreads into these quarters so that I can think about the year more in a quarterly way, actually set quarterly goals or intentions. I think that turned out so cute. It's just a little Notion database and I'm loving these pictures. Again, they really have that warm and cozy, inviting vibe. I used to have a very different perspective on Notion where I would literally say like, I think it's silly to add pictures. Like I'm all about the function. I just want it to be clean and streamlined and just the essentials. And I do not feel that way at all anymore. My perspective has completely changed and I do want to give my entire Notion a refresh because even just like my general aesthetic has changed. Okay, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump in because it's literally already getting dark outside despite the fact that it's only 4 p.m. So let's start off with the top. So first things first, my guiding word for 2024. This is actually a word that I picked out during the goals brainstorm live stream that I did with my friend Amina, and the word is romanticize. I chose this as my word for the year because I really want to focus this year on just making the absolute most of whatever my life looks like in this current moment. I'm a very future thinking person, hence all of the goal setting that I do. I have big ambition, but I want to make sure that I balance that out with also being present and enjoying all the amazing things about my current life and every stage of the journey that I'm in. So that's why I really want to focus on this word romanticize, as well as I just want to treat me a little bit better this year, pour into myself, give myself breaks. I feel like I tend to spread myself thin and then I don't make time for those special moments. And I really started, especially in the second half of this past year, doing the things that make me feel like I am romanticizing my life, whether that's going to the farmer's market every weekend or sitting on the couch with a glass of hot chocolate and reading a book. These are the types of things that I feel like make me feel more fulfilled, and these are the things that I want to prioritize this year. So that's why I chose the word romanticize. As well as I am going to be moving to Seattle this year, I want to make sure that I romanticize Seattle. I've made it very clear that I love Los Angeles. I am going to be a little bit sad to leave here, but I'm also excited for this new adventure, and I think going into it with the mindset and intention that I am going to romanticize it will help to make that transition more pleasant and to help me start off in Seattle on a good foot. So that's that. I also added this little button here, which will lead to my 2024 Pinterest board. There's nothing on it yet, but that's what that button will lead to. It's kind of annoying how it always does all this stuff. So my guiding word reflection and long-term goals, I'm gonna fill out in my own time because that's gonna be a little more personal, not something I necessarily want to share. But let's go ahead and write down some 2023 wins, shall we? So I moved into a new apartment. I started a new role with a huge pay increase. I built stronger relationships with friends and family. I started writing a book and started a second channel. I started officially living with my boyfriend, started reading again. Oh, and then I feel like we need to put this one higher, but became somebody who works out regularly and fell in love with Pilates. Made my first YouTube friends. Those feel like the most essential things, and that very much ties together a lot of the things that I accomplished for my 2023 goals. Now let's go ahead and fill out my starting point. My starting point in terms of YouTube subscribers, 2175. My total YouTube views is 153,641. Instagram followers, I so don't care about this. I'm deleting that. I just copied and pasted it from my old template. I just literally could not care less, so we're not going to track that this year. My average monthly income, I did actually go ahead and calculate this. With my 401k, I think I'm making around $4,600. So now that I have two channels, I feel like we actually do need to rework this a little bit. Let's go ahead and put my writing channel stats in here too. I'm having such a hard time typing right now. Like, why is Notion being so difficult? Okay, my total views on Brielle Writes is 9,781. I just need us to take a look at this, okay? I feel like we need to reflect on this because this showcases something that is so jarring to me, and that is the fact that Brielle Writes literally has, oh my God, I don't even know what that stat is, maybe 5% as many views as Brielle Juliet, and it has 30% as many subscribers. Like, do you know what I mean? The conversion rate from views to subscribers just hits totally different on that second channel. Anyway, now we're gonna go ahead and get into the goals. When I was setting these goals, they sound kind of flowery. There's not a lot of goals with specific metrics or I want to achieve this one specific thing. They feel a little bit more like intentions. They were very specifically worded for exactly the feeling and effect that I wanted to create. So I really put a lot of thought and love and care into these goals, knowing that I didn't achieve a lot of my metrics-based goals last year and that I feel like I do not have a realistic sense of what I will be able to achieve in terms of metrics. I'm keeping that in mind when I'm setting these goals, and I'm being super intentional about what I am setting. First things first, the first sort of subsection that I decided to do was full-time creative journey. This is replacing last year's category of YouTube and social. I love this title because it gets me excited. And that was one of the main things I want to achieve with a New Year's spread, New Year's goals, is a feeling of excitement of like, oof, that sounds juicy and incredible. And I definitely get that with full-time creative journey. Like I've mentioned on this channel before, my end goal is to be able to be self-employed as some sort of like full-time creative. And my neighbor just walked by and we made direct eye contact while I'm talking to a camera in my living room. So I wanted to create a section of my goals that's dedicated to everything involved with me trying to reach that goal. So that encompasses a lot of things, which we'll get into when we go through the specific goals that I'm going to set in this category. But that's my reasoning behind naming this. Also, YouTube and social just didn't feel right because social, that was kind of more like when I was thinking Instagram or some other social platform might be a factor, and I'm just not really caring about those right now, as I have mentioned. And also I wanted it to encompass the overall like business I'm trying to build, which yes is the YouTube channel, but also it's anything that expands out of that YouTube channel and both of my channels. So that was my logic with this category, and I love the name of it. So the first goal I'm going to set here is continue diversifying and scaling multiple income streams. Make non-job sources more substantial pieces of my income pie. Obviously, to become a full-time creative, income streams is essential, and diversifying your income is like key to being able to become self-employed. So that is something that I really want to focus on this year. In 2023, I feel like I was able to start up and plant the seeds of a few different income streams. I saw the very seeds and the very preliminary potential of some of the income streams that I could build for myself. If you guys watched part 1, I showed some pie charts of what my income looked like this year and mentioned that my salary made up like 93% of my income in 2023, and that's something that I really want to shift. In an ideal world, I would love to have other income streams be bigger pieces of those pie charts by the end of the year. Kind of going off of that, my next goal is by the end of the year, make my income streams more consistent, monthly payout / revenue. Right now, I'm only getting paychecks from things like AdSense or affiliates every few months. And by the end of the year, I would love to just be getting a paycheck from every source every month. So I do think that's feasible. I have 12 whole months to get to that place. My next goal for this is get the writing channel monetized. Pretty self-explanatory there. I'm more than halfway to the subscriber requirement for becoming monetized, and I'm about a quarter of the way there for the watch hours requirement. I definitely think it's safe to say I'll hit the subscriber requirement first, but I've only posted like 7 videos over there. So if I'm able to post a couple videos a month, I totally could see myself being able to get monetized even in the first half of 2024, which would be awesome to have 2 monetized channels contributing to my income streams. Okay, the next goal that I want to set is finish writing my book and be ready to kickstart my self-publishing journey by the end of the year. As we discussed in my 2023 wins, I did start writing a book this year. Obviously, I've been talking about that over on my writing channel, but I do intend to try to self-publish that book. I think that would be such a fun project for me. I have gotten so interested in the world of self-publishing through other authors that I watch, and I really feel like that's something that I want to do in 2025. So in order to prepare for that, I want to aim to finish my book, which includes writing the rough draft, revising it, taking it to an editor, getting a book cover made, etc. I would love to do all of that in 2024. It's gonna be quite an undertaking, but I do feel like it's feasible. And then the last full-time creative journey related goal is going to be grow my audience to 5K plus subscribers between both of my channels. So like I said in part 1 of this video, I really wanted to aim to set a more realistic subscriber goal this year. In the past 2 years, I was really insanely ambitious. In 2022, I had a 10K subscriber goal. 2023, even though I did not hit the 10K subscriber goal at all, decided I would up the ante and go for 20,000 subscribers. So now I'm trying to bring myself down to earth a little. I think this time of year, I tend to get a little stressed and I tend to like freak out and feel like I need to make my dreams happen in 1 year, and I get really unrealistic with myself. So I feel like 5K subscribers between the 2 channels is extremely doable. I'm almost at 3K between the 2 channels now. I would just need to grow 2,000 more subscribers, and I have 2 opportunities to grow now that I have both. And I chose the words grow my audience instead of like hit 5K subscribers because I want the focus to be on building a community of people who enjoy me and my content and are gonna be with me on this journey moving forward, you know? Oh, I forgot. I did want to add a specific number to continue diversifying my income streams. I would love to have 5+ income streams consistently by the end of the year, which I feel like is doable because overall I have 5+ income streams at this point, but I would love to have 5+ income streams every single month. My camera battery is gonna die, so I'm gonna go charge that and then we'll continue. It's already dark out, so I have a feeling we're gonna have to bring out the ring light and figure something out. We have now entered night mode and we're gonna continue this video. So while my camera was charging and I was eating a yogurt parfait, I thought of one more goal that I wanna set in the full-time creative journey category. I always think it's fun when you get an opportunity to reuse a goal more than 1 year and then you finally hit it several years later. So I think it would be fun to just reuse the goal to, by the end of the year, be taking on sponsorships regularly, 1 time per month plus. I do feel like that's going to be more feasible hopefully in 2024 than it was in 2023. So I think it'd be fun to keep that goal around. This is definitely a lot of goals in this category. Typically, I prefer to maintain kind of a smaller quantity of goals in a category. That being said, because this category encompasses so much and because it is such a key focus of my life, we're gonna stick with this large amount of goals for it. Next up, we have the fitness and wellness category. There we go. There's the page with the correct info. So the first goal is basically just building off of the progress that I made last year with my new fitness focused lifestyle. And that is to maintain being a fitness girl. I really like putting it in this way because it makes it more about the identity and the type of person that I'm showing up as instead of a specific workout frequency, and find a new go-to workout studio in Seattle. I was so incredibly lucky to find a studio in my current area that I love, and I want to prioritize finding a similar arrangement in Seattle so that I can maintain consistency even after I move, because it could be so easy to move, not find a new studio, and just completely fall off. Sorry, I moved the angle because I wanted more of the Christmas tree. But yeah, I want to replace my go-to coffee shops, my go-to workout studio, because I love having those things in my life, and I want to continue that even after moving away from where I am now. This next goal, I played around with the wording for a long time. I knew I wanted to set a goal that was focused on eating healthier, but I wanted to be ultra careful of how I worded that because obviously I don't want to set myself up for failure. I don't want to be too restrictive. I just wanted to be very mindful, right? So I finally settled on this wording that feels good, that makes me excited to prioritize this goal. Eat more energizing foods that make you feel good, and be mindful of what your body needs. AKA, instead of focusing on cutting out certain foods or restricting my eating at certain times, I'm not doing anything like that. Instead, I'm focusing on, okay, what bonus foods can I add in that are really gonna energize me, make me ready for the day, food as fuel essentially, and also being mindful of what my body needs. So if I'm having a day that already feels kind of crappy and low energy, I'm not gonna make it worse by eating badly. This next one, again, is one that I really thought about the wording very intentionally. In the past, not on like a yearly basis, but on a monthly basis, I've tried setting goals to do things like meditation or journaling, and I've found that I just don't actually really have the motivation to stick to something like that. But I do want to be more mindful in my life overall, and I think that fits in with my theme of romanticizing. So I was like, how can I set some sort of goal around mindfulness without it feeling like a chore and without expecting myself to do something that I know I just don't have the motivation to do. So what I decided to do for the goal is find mindful practices that work for me and find chunks of time to slow down and unplug. I love the way that I'm wording that because it allows a lot of flexibility and allows me to really explore and find what my definition of mindfulness looks like. Maybe it doesn't look like half an hour of meditating every day, and that's okay. Maybe it's taking 5 seconds in between meetings to do some deep breaths. Maybe it's doing a few quick stretches when I wake up, finding chunks of time to slow down and unplug. I already kind of explained that, but essentially it's creating more intentional me time where I'm not listening to anything, I'm not watching anything, I'm slowing down time by just spending quality time, whether that's with myself or with someone else, doing something that involves no screens and that's very physical or tangible. And then this last goal is not nearly as flowery or as beautiful as the other ones, but it's something that I have known that I wanted to put on a goals list, and I just feel like I have to do it for myself. I'll be honest, I considered not including it here because I was like, it's a shallow goal, people might judge me for it might be weird. But I want to be honest with myself, and this is something that I would love to try to do this year, okay? And it is to get abs. I've never had abs in my life, and I just think it would be kind of cool to see if I could do it. The next category is romanticizing my life, and this category is going to be entirely dedicated to helping me to stick with my theme this year, which I think is a really cool idea that maybe you guys can apply to your own yearly goals, is to have a goal setting category or a few goals that are specifically intended to help you live by your theme. So it's not just some abstract thing in your head. It's like, okay, I'm actually setting goals specifically aligned with what I want this year to feel like. The first goal for romanticizing my life is sort of the broader intention of what I want romanticizing to mean to me, and that is milk everything for what it's worth. Practice gratitude, indulge in everything your current life has to offer. Your home, your neighborhood, and where you're at in your journey. That's obviously a bit of a long one and not the most concrete thing ever, but that is really like the overarching intention behind my romanticizing my life goal. The next goal is much more specific and concrete, but it is just to read 12 plus books this year. I do feel like that's doable. That's like a book a month. Definitely want to just continue the momentum that I gained in 2023 from my goal to become a reader again. Last year was really about getting started with reading, and I want this year to be about maintaining reading as just like a hobby and a part of who I am and my life. The next goal is to indulge in high quality me time, take myself on dates, extravagant self-care, time alone without distractions. I've gotten really good, I feel like, this year about taking myself out on dates. I go to coffee shops at least once a week and just sit there and have a coffee and a pastry, which is a really special just like date with myself. I've been taking myself to the park more frequently. In terms of extravagant self-care, I would love to do more things like face masks or dedicated nights that are just about like watching a nostalgic movie and making myself a fun snack. Little things like that, which I very rarely make time for. And then time alone without distractions, pretty self-explanatory. Making some time to just be with my own thoughts, reflect a little instead of constantly consuming content or media. Definitely something that's become more of a focus, and also I feel like it helps my creativity. I'm way more likely to get ideas for my book or for content if I'm just in my own thoughts doing something with my hands, as opposed to if I'm listening to something or consuming something and then my brain is elsewhere. The next goal is celebrate all the small wins and take more intentional breaks. Celebrating the small wins is honestly something I feel like I'm pretty good at. I honestly encourage everyone in my life to do this more. I don't think people do it enough. I think every milestone, every sign of progress, every just like win is worth celebrating in a maybe irrationally elaborate way. Every 100 subscribers on YouTube is deserving of a cake, and I will die on that hill. Taking more intentional breaks is honestly something I need to improve on. I have a bad habit of, if I finish everything on my to-do list or everything I wanted to get done in a week, just immediately being like, okay, what can I start? Or like, what other thing can I bring onto my plate? Instead of being like, okay, I finished my daily to-do list, let me like go relax and do something for myself. And the result of that is that I don't feel like I really get breaks like ever. I would love to take a couple weeks off of uploading this year, just take more intentional breaks instead of waiting until I'm drained and burnt out to take a break, because that doesn't feel good in the way that it would if I gave myself that time. If I miss an upload because I was just not able to get to it, or I really needed a break but didn't take one, then I feel all guilty and terrible. But if I miss an upload because I'm like, I'm intentionally giving myself some time off this week, hopefully that won't feel as bad. That's it for the romanticizing my life category. We're gonna switch up locations once again because something about sitting on the floor with nothing to lean back against is incredibly uncomfortable to me. All right, let's finish this video out because this ring light is honestly hurting my eyes. Filming at night is not my favorite, but I'm literally leaving for New Jersey tomorrow and I want to film this video here, so we're making it work. The last main category of goals that I want to set is my personal and lifestyle goals. The first personal and lifestyle goal is going to be to cultivate more discipline and differentiate between work and leisure to feel less scatterbrained. Do you guys see what I mean now when I said a lot of these goals feel a little bit more like intentions? When I do distracted work, so when I'm working but also I'm checking my phone and I'm like watching YouTube videos in between tasks and I'm just like scattered, I end up feeling incredibly scatterbrained. I'm not fully in work mode, but I'm also not fully in leisure, relaxation, enjoyment mode, and then I just end up feeling a little bit lost. So something that I want to work on is how can I be more disciplined in the times where I am working to be more efficient and dedicated when I'm doing that, and then therefore create time for myself where I can solely focus on relaxing and doing something for me. Okay, and then I wanted to set a friendship or relationship goal building off of the goal I had for 2023, which was to create ride or die friendships in LA. So my goal for this year is going to be a lot more about building the friendships that I started last year, continue pouring into relationships that feel good through encouraging words, hyping up accomplishments, and gestures. Gifts, showing up, etc. So these are, I think, what I've found to be my love languages towards others. I feel good about my friendships when I am showing a sort of smothering level of support. Wow, you're doing so amazing. I'm so proud of you. You impress me. Blah, blah, blah. Like when I'm really layering that on thick is when I feel like I'm being the best friend that I can be. And I love going that little extra mile for people because I feel like people don't expect it. And I know it's something that I would love if I received it. That's really become my approach to friendships, doing things that I know I would really appreciate from a friend. The next goal is honestly probably the one that I need the most out of these goals. It is something I really struggle with, but it is low stress lifestyle. Actively make decisions that minimize my stress and become somebody who is on time, prepared, and put together. I talked about in a chatty get ready with me recently how being late to things is one of my worst habits. It's honestly probably the most disheveled part about me. Like, I feel like I'm pretty put together. I have my shiz together for the most part. Not with being on time though. That is one area that I struggle. And it's just so embarrassing. But besides that, it's also just incredibly stressful. I'm tired of having to speed walk my way to things because I'm running late. I'm tired of driving like I'm about to have a heart attack because I'm running late. I'm over it. If it means that I have to make some sacrifices in order to actually be on time and ready when things happen, I'll do what I gotta do. It's just a matter of being honest with myself of like, okay, how long is it actually gonna take me to do this thing? Or how long is it actually gonna take me to go from point A to point B? Do I have time to stop for coffee? Maybe I don't. The next and last personal lifestyle goal that I wanna set is prioritize putting time and effort into my appearance and indulging in self-care practices for my hair, skin, and body. I tend to fall off of prioritizing my appearance and tend to just neglect my appearance sometimes, even though when I do fully get ready and I straighten my hair and I do my makeup, I feel so much better during my day. It makes a huge impact on my mental state, my motivation, my mood, like an insane impact, yet it's something that I continuously don't make time for. So this year I want to put effort into my appearance. All those things that just feel like tiny little indulgences, and the stress goal kind of fits into that too, where it's just like, I want to show myself that I deserve to take my time with me and with my life. I feel like having that sort of frantic, chaotic, rushed energy of like, I don't have time for myself, or I'm always running out the door, I'm always late. What type of message is that sending to myself? It's not really sending myself the message that I'm like the cool, successful, put together person that I want to be. It's sending the message of I never have enough time and I'm chaotic and I don't have my life together. So that is something that I really want to work on. And last but not least, I think we're just going to set a single finance goal, which I think is just going to be to do regular monthly check-ins and approach your finances with TLC and awareness. I actually am not going to say monthly check-ins because I would like to be checking in more frequently than that. This goal is really just to improve my relationship with finances. It's one of those things where I often feel out of control with it, and I feel like it's something I honestly kind of avoid looking at or acknowledging. It's not very healthy and it induces some unnecessary stress when I could just be a lot more in the weeds of it and looking at my accounts and being like, how much money do I realistically have? Let's just get super real. Let's just rip the band-aid off and take a look at the real numbers. And so I want to do that more this year and just kind of approach my finances from a loving, caring perspective of like, how can I make the most of this? How can I nurture my financial future instead of having this sort of anxious, avoidant approach to money. That's gonna be my one financial goal. I don't want to set anything super specific in terms of income or expenses because genuinely I just don't know what type of place I'm gonna be in financially by the end of the year. So much is gonna change this year. New job, living in a new city, completely different cost of living. Those are my 2024 goals. Very extensive. We've got a lot of long goals. We have quite a lot of different areas and things that I'm striving for, but I feel really good about these goals. I love that a lot of them feel very in my control. I definitely feel like that is something that I took from last year and tried to improve on this year. Really excited to continue fleshing out this page and also just continue to upgrade my Notion to match more my current vibe. If I do end up updating more pages, maybe we'll do a little updated Notion tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know some of your 2024 goals and intentions down in the comments. I have 2 more New Year's related videos planned that are going to go up probably in January. We're going to do creating my 2024 vision board and how much YouTube paid me in my first year being monetized. So stay tuned for those videos. I hope you guys have an amazing holiday season and New Year's celebration, and I will see you guys back here soon with another one. Bye!